Symptoms podcast. Our Harvey Castro is actually traveling, so he was not able to join. I'm again very grateful to Ed Marks to join. As usual, we're going to start with our updates and then we're going to go back and talk about the elephant in the room that we honestly have been actually so consumed ourselves about how to implement AI. Let's start talking about how artificial intelligence in healthcare is going to benefit directly the patients. We are going to talk about a little bit more about direct to consumers as compared to just uh, through hospital systems and all of that, because there's a back end process in which physicians deploy AI that helps patients, and then we're going to go from there. Um, we're going to go ahead and start our project with some updates. Give me 1 second, um, and then we'll go from there. So Capital RX announces another 400 million round to accelerate AI-powered health benefits program. As you can see, this is becoming interesting that more and more money is being poured into these tools as well, sir. If AI can diagnose patients, what are doctors for?
Mhm.
So I'm gonna let actually today is more. So Ed, what are your thoughts on this New Yorker's headline?
Yeah,
It just like burns my noodles.
it's very provocative, and that's
Actually, I can't
obviously.
hear you. Can anyone hear Ed?
Can anyone hear me?
Okay, that's okay.
Oh,
Everyone else can hear Ed or no?
let me check with our producers here if they can hear me or not.
I can't hear you.
Hmm.
Nick, somebody please let us know if you can hear Ed or no. Taj, can you hear us? You can hear Ed, but I can't hear Ed. Okay, let me just take off these. An animation that we can
All
hear.
right. Can you hear me now, Junaid?
Give me 1 second. Sorry, some uh,
Hey, we're live. That's the way it goes. That's just part of being live. Is
this is today has been a little bit of a problematic process. Let me see what's going on my end.
this is where we roll in the commercial. I would keep going, except I know Junaid needs to be part of
I still
what I'm
can't hear
saying.
Ed
So
at all.
just hang with us here for a couple awkward
Uh,
seconds, and we'll get going.
why don't you try to fix that on the end, on your end? Let me see. Mike MacBook Air. Everyone can hear me?
Yeah, I can hear you.
Yeah. Okay. So speakers. Okay. Let me try this. So let me go back and finish the updates, and then in the meanwhile, hopefully we can fix this. This is kind of important, and we need to really talk about this because this is getting an annoying problem at the moment. Because there was a difference between what we call Dr. Google to Dr. GPT. Because the way that authoritatively they give you answers is becoming an annoying problem now. Because previously it was okay, they give you facts. Now they give you sentences that are looks really nice. Digital twins is going to become predictive markers for right heart failure. We have talked about digital twins before, and we have talked about many different things as far as before as well. Given all of this situation, I think it is important that we, talk about digital twins. And one of these things, Harvey is actually one of the major things. I'm going to bring in one of my friends who has worked on digital twins specifically in healthcare. Digital twins is used in many places, including we're using it for telecom and AI in telecom, and we're going to talk about that as well. And then SAT, this is the main article that we talked about, large vocabulary segmentation for medical images with text prompts. By the way, our solution is going to come out, but it is not, fully going to be baked out because it's going to be something. And the idea is that you literally say, uh, you know, segment out the liver for me or segment out the kidneys for me. And not only it's going to tell you exactly where the kidneys are, it's going to give you the measurements. So it is coming out pretty soon. But what they have done is a slightly different approach. I like it. I'm actually going to probably incorporate this approach. I mean, there's no code to actually go ahead and do that. What it does is that it takes all the vocabulary into the system and then goes from there. And then lastly, enabling secure, self-determined health shared data sharing and consent management. And this is exactly what we're going to come to the main topic of the today is that like when we talk about AI directly DTC to patients or patients in general, again, why do we need physician apparently? So we're going to go ahead and talk about this, that how do we do consent management better. I'm going to leave this major update for Harvey to come because he is a big proponent of Ray-Ban glasses, and they came out with the new Ray-Ban glasses with essentially an EMG. So Ed, I'm going to be able to show you that Ed, this is essentially an EMG. And then Evans Health employs AI skills training in collaboration with OpenAI. And this is important. I think this is a fantastic way to move forward to add actually training for your employees directly. And then on colleges, so this one is actually evaluation tool list. Again, we keep talking about how we should implement it. And this is a very good article if you are a chief medical officer, how to incorporate, how to evaluate these tools for you. And then again, I'm going to be moving forward. And this is another article that we keep physician algorithm specialist. And this is, again, the new wave. Again, we can think of whatever we want to do. I'm 40 years old, and there's, of course, set ways that I think. But as we talked about last time, that we moved from paper charts to digital charts, and we're going to move from digital charts to AI charts. And we are going to see this essentially a problem in adoption, and then the 5 years look very different, as Ed is going to talk to you about both, and I'm going to let him speak a lot today about how things are going to go in the future. Let me join in 2 minutes again so that I can listen.
All right, this is where the next commercial break comes in. So if we had commercials, we would throw one in right here, but we'll give Junaid a little grace here. I think we've all been in those situations where tech isn't working for us for one reason or another. I'm coming to you from Nashville, so you can tell I'm in a hotel room, and we're always someplace around the world. I think Harvey's somewhere flying internationally, and so we just make it work wherever we might be. I think a couple weeks ago I was in Central Park in New York, and it was raining, and I was trying to dodge the rain in the middle of our program. So it's always kind of funny. So with that, looks like Junaid is coming back online.
Sorry about that. I apologize. I can hear you well, Ed. Go ahead.
Yeah.
Yours today. I really want to learn from you that in your 20 years of experience, you are the one person that I know for sure that really led what we call digital transformation at large institutes. You were at ex-CIO of Cleveland Clinic, and I'm not gonna mention all the other stuff I know about you. So, two topics. Basically, put the patients at front and center. Then I want you to add the amazing book and from your significant other that is going to come out, and also then talk about pulling it all together, what we have been talking about in terms of as a CIO CTO, what the implementation strategy should be.
Yeah, I'm just gonna touch high level on it. I don't want to give away the book quite yet. It should come out. It will come out in December of this year. And so I had not seen that New Yorker. That just came out on the 22nd. So it's kind of funny, the timing of that. It's very provocative. I can't wait to read it. And so is the book. The book that we're working on is pretty provocative title as well. We're calling it the AI Empowered Patient, which isn't that provocative, but the byline is, as rideshare disrupted transportation, concierge AI will break traditional care delivery models. And so that in itself is pretty provocative. I do believe that this whole AI, and I call it concierge AI, will do to transportation, what Uber and Lyft have done. And it's totally blew it up, right? And I think we're going to see the same thing happen. It's different than Dr. Google, because Dr. Google is very limited. The tech wasn't very advanced, and there was just a few people that were really into it, would show up at the physician office, and be expert in their own mind. But it was good to empower the patient. They should. I would think as a clinician that you would appreciate that. I know my wife appreciated when they had some knowledge of what was happening. So I think the game that's different. So, a quick analogy, and I know it's not the same as medical at all, but in terms of, the whole framework, I'm not a programmer, and I think you've already talked about, Junaid, where you could go in, and we all know these stories where someone doesn't know any programming, and within an hour, they could program something that used to take a year. And so it's just an amazing tool. We all know the power. We've been talking about it. Everybody knows. So why can't the same thing happen and disintermediate the way traditional healthcare delivery models are today? Obviously, I don't foresee anything in the near future for sophisticated care, but for primary care, we're already seeing it with symptom checkers, right? A lot of health systems already have online symptom checkers that are incorporated with their portals, and I can already tell, oh, I don't need to come in, or oh, maybe I should come in, or hey, watch for these symptoms and then I can come in. It's already sort of disrupting traditional model where I would immediately go to urgent care because my throat is sore for over 3 days. But now I got the symptom checker. It's basic stuff, but it's getting more sophisticated. So I've been testing these models myself. But I think back, Junaid, I'll just tell two stories to make my point. I think everyone knows I had a prostatectomy a few years ago. And what happened, I had a good physician. He followed best practices, and following best practices, yeah, it's talked about in one of those books. So he followed best practices, and by the time they realized that I had a real significant issue, I was stage 7, which is different, the way they do prostate cancer, but essentially stage 3 cancer for what everyone typically knows as the 4 stages. And so I only had one alternative. Now, if I had AI, because I'm doing this now, I would have been taking my labs and putting it in AI, and I guarantee you it would have said, because my wife was telling me the whole time, go, get next level exam, a pathology exam, so that you can really know, because you're a high risk. The markers say everything. And I would have found it at stage 1, and I would have been able to take some easy medicines, and I would have been fine. Instead, I had to go through this horrific experience. Everything turned out fine, but it's still a horrific experience. I could have
Grateful for the
avoided.
force that everything turned out, but you are absolutely right.
Yeah,
Early detection is one of the key value drivers. We are working
yeah,
in breast cancer detection, bleed
yeah,
detection, chest X-ray, pneumonia, pneumothorax, TB. Because not only that, I mean, people have been asking really odd things, right? I mean, we are working on a cruise ship or a prison guard, and we want to diagnose TB because, again, it's not just you. It can go through
yeah.
different areas. So you are absolutely right that number one, early detection. And I'm glad that you're sharing your personal story. And I truly believe your wife too as well, because some of these things I've been adding into the system. But again, we're going to talk about validity, accuracy at a later point.
Yeah,
But I 100% agree with your point that things may have changed if you have
yeah,
access to more technology, and you would personally be persuaded
yeah,
to do early testing. There's another problem, right? I mean, changing human behavior is the hardest thing. Right? I mean, I have patients like, I don't want to get admitted. Dude, you're 80 years old. If you
yeah,
multiply by 365, I'm asking for one day to get an echo and MRI. What is
yeah,
the big deal? Like, do you understand what I'm trying to say?
yeah,
So changing human behavior is hard. So the persuasive nature of these new technologies that takes the information and puts it into a way that you actually act on it has a very profound positive impact. But we're going to talk about the negative part of that. But keep going. I
yeah.
apologize.
No, so it's talk about access. So I'm going to give you two real examples now. I mean, that was a real example that was
Personal example.
in the past. I'm going to give you going forward. So I noticed in my annual physical exam, which was July,
Hmm.
that I had a marker for liver that seemed to be going up, and uh, and so my PCP, she's not concerned, but I, having gone through that prostate process, I said I want to do another lab a month later, and so I saw an increase. I did another lab a month later. She's like, I'm not concerned. Now it's at the top limit, I'm like, no, I've been down this road before. I put it into, my AI, and it's like, you need to see a nephrologist. You need to go take care of this. So I contact the nephrologist. It's December before my appointment. Do you think I'm going to wait to December when everything is telling me, hey, go get this checked out? I'm not. So, so that's another example where traditional medicine, best practice, I can't get access, and I'm going to get sick. All right, and I'm going to have cancer or something. So I'm not, and I'm sort of treating this myself. The other real example, and I did this on purpose just to really test the system. It's this same thing. As you know, I'm an athlete, and I was dumb. There's a reason why in contracts for football players and other professionals it tells them they can't do these other sports. And I was dumb. I did pickleball, so it messed up my knee. So I'd go see. I got to go see an orthopod. Now it was a 6 weeks to see him. It's like I don't have 6 weeks of my life. It's too important to me, my physical fitness and maintaining the level I am. So I got the MRI. So that's some of the pushback I get from docs. Well, you still need an order. Okay. I text my PCP. I said, can I get an MRI, please? She said yes. I paid cash because it was cheaper than paying my copay, which is another story.
Insane.
It's um,
Insane.
yeah, it's crazy. And so I put it in to to AI, and it told me exactly what my problem was, what I needed to do. Now I still kept my ortho appointment, which was, I don't know, 7 weeks later. And he told me, he was great. He told me the exact same thing that AI told me. Exact same thing, and told me my treatment plan, exact same. So actually today, I'm gonna get home today. I'm gonna do PRP with my orthopod. Now I couldn't. Now AI is not gonna do my PRP for me. So, but I think it's going to disrupt about 30% of healthcare as we know it today in the next 3 years. That 30% mostly primary care type things, and it's going to get us to the specialist faster. So I think it's a message for physicians, for clinicians, for health systems to embrace,
Oh my God.
not be afraid, not say, "Oh, you can't do that because we're," or go and try to take a policy or legislative action to keep something from happening, this empowerment from happening. It's going to happen, and people are going to use it in mass. I'm convinced of it. They're going to use it in mass. Already, it's something like in our research, and again, the changes, the percentages go up every day. 56%, and the New Yorker may have some data in there as well. I haven't read the article yet, as I said. 56% of people are already using AI for their healthcare at some level. 40 some percent are skipping visits because they're getting what they think they need. Now, is it perfect? No. And we talk about that some other time or maybe now. Is it perfect? No. Is it all ready for prime time? I think some of it is, but a long ways to go. But as we know with AI, it's a rapid cycle. It's not like Dr. Google, which could be years and years and years before you get good data out there and trusted sources. With AI, as we know, it's like every day we're seeing improvements. So I think it's coming, and I think it's nothing to be afraid of. I think it's something to be embraced, and then you work with you have to redo your healthcare delivery model is what I think. So that's
You
it.
are
That's all I can
so
share.
right on the spot. I'm going to tell you example. Save Life AI. I demoed some of the products that are coming. It was an investor meeting, and most of my investors are physicians, and they're like amazing people. They have been doing both introductions for sales and everything. But what I ended up doing was that okay, this is the future, and then I showed it to one of the providers, and he looked at it and he said, "Junaid, I'm never going to invest in it." I said, "What happened?" He said, "You are literally showing me that, it's going to replace me." And I said, "Dude, it is not going to replace you. It's going to empower you. As a matter of fact,
Yes.
you'll be able to do more. Not
Yes.
to mention, we need 56,000 more just
Yeah.
physicians. We need 12,000 more neurologists. We need 18,000 more radiologists. Are you kidding me?
Yeah.
Your reach is going to be better." That's number one. And then number two is, of course, we have to adjust, right? We did adjust. I mean, as a matter of fact, we adjust on a regular basis. Continued medical education is part and parcel of our getting licenses renewed, for God's sakes.
Yeah.
We have talked about this, that we're going to need CMEs specific to AI because these tools are going to be, and we did, right? I was taught how to use medications in the first place, right? There's a different education that was given to a medicine than a pharmacist. We both got educated and we use all the tools all the time. But it did hurt when you said, ouch,
Yeah.
that providers are going to be, and then that's again the word replace makes it, as we talked about last time, makes it a little bit more antagonist. What it is that it is empowering both. And here's the question: if a person in front of you is getting more and more empowered, you only have two options. One, you retire, which, by the way, if you don't know the history, a lot of physicians, when the system went from paper chart to digital
Yeah.
chart, they actually retired away.
Yes.
I mean,
Yeah.
people
I
don't know
remember.
that. Exactly. I mean, they're. I had professors. I was the last year of paper chart, and I said, "Oh, I'm retiring." I said, "Why?" Because experienced older physicians were
Yeah.
amazing, at calmly explaining sort of, and then talking through this. Then younger providers who want to, butchers and everything. Do you understand what I'm trying to say?
Yeah.
So they were out of the system. I mean, I was at St. Louis University Hospital. First year we had paper charts. We transitioned to Epic, and then I literally, in front of my eyes, saw very good, great physicians just move away because they don't want to catch up to the technology.
Yeah.
I believe this is going to be the second wave. It's just the level of timing.
Yeah.
The second thing, of course, is that if you embrace what I realize in that, if you embrace this change, let's say a patient comes in like you did, Edward, you were saying that, hey, I got this liver problem, I've got this. You are actually taking action directly because of your past experience. But more importantly, what I was important to me is, for God's sakes, take action, right?
Yeah.
If you really switch that, oh my God, he is actually not taking my advice, but actually switching that we are co-partners in health, and no matter where the source comes from, as long as you get better, which is the end goal,
Yeah.
that should be the end goal, right? I mean, it doesn't matter if you take my advice or not, as long as you're good. That was the whole point of me existing, right? If you just focus on the end goal, which is patient life improvement, I think you would find even this creating a significant value. And you can also use this as a tool. Hey, Ed, look, you understand this is it, why don't you search it on
Yeah.
ChatGPT, and then figure out, if you don't get an echo or if you don't start an aspirin, what will happen.
Yeah.
And you will see in front of them, right, in the office. Make it what we call experience in front of you, so that these things happen, so that if there is any hallucination point, and we're going to come to that in a minute, and how do you adjust it. So coming back to this article, and that's one more thing that I forgot to share with you. I don't know if I even spoke it. I didn't even realize that we have an AI note taker too, right? This is a story in Kevin MD. Your clinical notes can save lives with AI. And this actually produces this beautiful one. For example, an analyst could flag a patient, those three progress notes mentioned, took longer to answer questions, needed repeated prompting during physical therapy sessions today, reluctant to swallow pills, and more coughing with water. By the way, these are all symptoms of essentially neurological decline, neurodegenerative disorders. And then it is one of the hardest things to pick up for especially family medicine and physical therapy, which are two different places.
Yeah.
And what happens is that only time this Alzheimer's medicine and all of these actually function is when I catch it early. That's exactly what your point was: early
Yeah.
diagnosis and detection, right?
Yep.
Because if I know that the Alzheimer's is going to come or progress, then and then only I can give a medication that is going to fix, which, by the way, we don't have enough good medication. I'm not proposing or anything. But what I'm saying is that early diagnosis,
Yeah.
because if the brain is already bad, you can never regrow it, at least with current technology. But
Right.
what I'm saying is that if you can early diagnose, early detect, that is going to be a huge problem. Now, coming back to this concierge portion, and then give me a picture about how do you see concierge medicine, AI powered, and, as you have already spoken before, the global healthcare AI market?
Yeah.
Because I'm just going to be honest with you, we just did 5 installations in Qatar, we're getting 10. The appetite internationally is insane. I
Yeah.
mean, the amount of people that are giving us calls to get our system on board is bonkers. I mean, we can't catch up. So compare these three, show us the
Yeah.
future, that Ed is, in 3 years from now, Ed is going to get a lab in Dallas, Texas, and where is he in getting care from?
Yeah, so we all know, and that's why I use the word concierge. Everyone's pretty familiar with concierge medicine. That this is the concept where you pay a physician, typically a physician, certain amount of dollars. It's not really covered by insurance. It's out of pocket, maybe 3 to 5 thousand. There might be other plans that are a little bit more richer than that. But the thought is, anytime you can text the physician, you can go in. There's no co-pays, there's no cost. You go in, you get your physical, you get your primary care sort of stuff, and it's high touch, high service. I did this for a couple of years. I stopped doing it again with this book in mind and wanting to know what it's like, what healthcare is like, because if you're in healthcare, you do not know what a patient experience is. That was a whole other topic some other day, and you don't really know what it's like for the average patient. You don't. We're all sheltered, and it's very nice because I can tell you, being on the other side, it's a lot different experience. So that's how concierge medicine works. So it's beautiful. It's very nice if you can afford it, and there's not that many people that leverage it because it is expensive. It's not something that's typically covered by your employer, but you can see the benefits of it. Wow, that's pretty nice. So concierge AI is basically the same thing, but for much less cost. What I could foresee are some entrepreneurial physicians like yourself that set up a concierge AI. So it's, yeah, and I would incorporate, and this is my message to hospitals and health systems too, to embrace all this. I would incorporate it in a physical office as well. So, because some patients like to go in, some don't like to go in. Some only want to use the AI portion. So I'm not. So you can build this all AI, all virtual, or you could combine it. I'm just a believer in sort of combining things for a wide variety of reasons. But let's just say it's sort of virtual. You can have a physician that oversees this and give the orders, right? It's like hims and hers, right? If I want Viagra or something, I can go online and some physician clears it and gives the order to the pharmacy. So you would have a little bit of infrastructure, but not much. So you could see this costing maybe a few $100s a year, and I would have access to this, LLM that's very well taken care of. Looks for hallucinations, looks for all the things that we're all concerned about, looks for biases and things like that, but continues to build upon itself, better and better practice. And that's what I use. So that's my AI. Just like today, I pay a subscription, $199 for some AI. It's going to be a subscription like that. It's going to be under $1,000. It's going to be a few $100s. And again, if I do need an MRI, like I tweak my knee, and okay, well, I probably need to see something. Maybe get an MRI. Okay, and the physician behind the scenes puts in the order. I go get the MRI, put it in there, and it compares it to all the other MRI. I mean, that's how I believe it's going to work. It's going to be a few $100s a year, and you're going to have this amazing capability. And so let's do another scenario. So that happened recently. I have a sore throat. Okay, I don't want to go to urgent care. I don't want to go to my PCP and drive an hour and all that kind of. That's a hassle. And so what, we don't do it, right? We know what that could lead to. But let's just say I got a sore throat. I put in my symptoms, and ultimately it's like, yeah, Ed, you've been complaining about this for over 3 days, and our studies show that someone your age or your background, because they know me, your background, you get these a lot. Don't worry about it. Or Ed, you never get these. You probably should go in. So they write an order for a lab. So I just go in the lab. It's very fast, convenient. It's same day. I do this all the time. It's same day. I just show up and they're like, okay, and usually wait 10 minutes and I'm done. And then the lab result gets put in, and then you go from there. Oh yeah, you need some antibiotic. Okay, it's at the pharmacy now, or it's delivered to me. I bypass the physician. So I think 30% is my guess of.
This is the knife that Ed did, and I'm gonna. Just
But
but you're talking realities.
yeah,
When I'm talking to physicians, and then they're so reluctant because unfortunately that's our talk, right? We talk about hype versus value.
yeah,
The hype was so much that people forgot that the value comes in later, right? I mean, right now, do you really think you're gonna find a paper chart? No. Do you
right.
really think that anyone is gonna deliver care without e-prescriptions? No. It took us 15 years it is the future no matter what you do. I understand that we need to adopt slowly, we need to make sure that everything is done, but this is clearly the future. uh, so he painted two pictures. Number one was essentially creating a concierge model, which is a subscription based model in which you have access to high quality AI. That's exactly what we're talking about. That the next one we're going to have physician algorithms specialist, direct
Yes.
decreasing primary care physicians. That's number one. And then the number two model he said is that the concierge basically brings up the possibility. I'm not going to touch economics this time because how insurance companies need to adopt to this new model. But now comes to the international perspective, Ed. What do you think that internationally things are going to change? I'm just going to be honest with you. This is my copay for a colonoscopy. I have ulcerative colitis is going to be $6,000. In $6,000, I can go to Turkey and get everything done from a whole body MRI, echocardiogram,
Yeah.
colonoscopy, endoscopy, see 19 specialists, not one, 19 specialists, and come back. And it is not that far of a flight. I mean, there's
Yeah.
overnight flights twice going from Dallas, one, not even once a day going to Turkey. There are two flights going to Turkey from Dallas every day. Thoughts?
Yeah. Well, I think that's definitely an a very viable option today and for the foreseeable future. I forget what country I was in. A bunch of countries in Asia a year ago on a speaking tour, and I would walk around the cities and I would find these physician offices. It was everything from Zoom teeth cleaning to to plastic surgery type things. Their lobbies were completely full, and I'm trying to remember which country it was, but it was like 1 o'clock in the morning. We had gone out. The team had gone out, and we were coming back to the hotel, and it was Zoom. It was a dental office, and it was all these people from the West. So, we were in an Asian country, so it wasn't local people. It was all these people from the West packed in because they were probably getting it for $25 instead of, $700. And they were probably there the next day to get some other thing done. No, it's a booming business. And I think it's going to continue for some time. I mean, something like that, the things that you're talking about aren't going to be disintermediated for a long time with AI. So I think that's going to continue to happen. Yeah. And I love it. I'm a big proponent because I think we touched on it before, whether it's hair restoration, which Turkey seems to be famous for. You get to go see the sites. So not only are you like taking care of yourself, but you get to see all these beautiful tourist attractions.
Actually, Thanksgiving, I'm going to Turkey with my family, not just for sightseeing and everything.
Yeah, no, I love
So,
Turkey. It's great.
yeah. So now we talked about the future of medicine in which access to care without the gateway or gatekeeper of primary care physician is going away. That's very important. Then we looked at the future of medicine in which the access to care is not encumbered by financial situation because you're going to basically go ahead and everyone's going to have FSA accounts. By the way, we're not going to talk about FSA accounts, but I need some time to actually teach people that they should have FSA accounts. And then we talked about the massive international competition that is coming. So I would like you to finish this talk today of say, look, I'm going to put a patient hat on, and this is what I need to learn. You're going to put a provider hat on, and this is what I'm going to learn. Then you have to put a hospital administrator on, and then lastly, just start, that what we're going to talk about how insurance is going to change, sort of overall with this particular model. And then we'll close the talk today.
Yeah. No, the payer part is super interesting as well. But yeah, I would just say, like from a patient point of view, start exploring, find out the best AI for you, start exploring and start experimenting. That's what I'm basically doing with the two
Excellent.
real examples that I shared, is start experimenting. I think from a clinician point of view, what I would do is I would start experimenting as well and thinking, okay, look at scenario planning. Like maybe you don't believe anything we're saying. Oh no, you might be like this. No, 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 no. Then okay, that's one scenario. But then open yourself up and say, okay, what if they're right, like to an extreme, do a scenario, and then something in the middle. Like, okay, how should I react with my practice, with my profession? What do I need to learn? What do I need to learn? What skills? Like, watch our podcast every Wednesday. Read our books. So, what skills do I need to learn? And then, how do I need to reorganize my practice in order to embrace this new wave? So if we're right, and again, just three different scenarios. Can't hurt to do it. It's a good practice, anyways. Gets you thinking. So that's the provider point of view. I gave you the patient point of view, and I think from a hospital point of view, it's the same thing. You need to be thinking about, because that's what hurt me in a way is we knew virtual care is definitely the way forward. There was no reason people need to come into a physical environment for everything. And so the pandemic, one of the side benefits was we got this boost in virtual care. Hey, it works. We can take care of patients. Quality's good. Safety's good. And then what did we do? We went back to the old way. It's like crazy. And patients, some patients like it, but a lot of patients don't. And they're tired of it. And that's the other thing. That's why they're going to embrace this AI. Oh my gosh, now I can take care of myself. So what I would do as a hospital, you got to do the same thing, the scenario planning, and I would start experimenting. Put together a concierge practice that includes AI. So they probably have concierge already. A lot of hospitals do, do a little carve out. Or if they don't, you should do one and then have some AI attribute to it. That's like an easy way to get into it. And then maybe over time it's all AI. But you need to start experimenting. And then, yeah, you brought up a really good point, Junaid, which is probably going to cause us to do a lot of add another chapter to the book. It is finished, it's in the final draft, but it's the whole payer disruption, this model. And so that's going to happen as well. So, anyways, those are some action steps I would take now. So
So
everyone
let me
listening,
tell you a complete physician perspective,
yeah,
right? So if you look at the history of physicians, right, we have had like AMAs. There's a physician lobby. Let's just be honest. We are not gonna mince words over here in this because we want to teach you and we want to learn from you. We of course push like, okay, we need these CPT codes through MA. We actually, reimbursement. We, lobby Congress. Me actually, I was on the Hill, Capitol Hill from American Academy of Neurology, pushing for more dollars for neurology research. Look, we all have to do that. I mean, these are realities. What is the end reality for me as a physician is that there's a swing. There's a swing in which physicians will remains to be more employed versus more business owners and independent practices. And there's always a swing that goes through history. And that swing basically is defined by A, incentives, and B, cost. Because again, running a practice requires business costs on top of everything. And that swing has been changing over time. The digital health revolution, actually EMRs and everything, when they came into existence, that was a significant cost, both in terms of bearing the cost and implementation, that pushed a lot of physician practices to give away. And then, of course, became, rather than business owners, independent owners, and went back to what we call employed model hospitals. Or I'm not going to talk about private equities, but again, there's a pluses and minuses of everything. And then they were acquiring, again, the whole point was bring down the cost of everything from, infusions and EHRs and everything when you collect all of them. I truly believe, Ed, that as a physician, business owner, I
yeah,
think this is very exciting time.
yeah,
What I can do is I can exactly work on the model you just told me. 60% of my practice can be fully virtual. I don't want the seizure patient to come in and pay me actually for writing a prescription for refilling of seizures. You're good, no seizures, boom, check in quickly and then move on. Stop wasting gas, electricity, so many things. Even on the road, for God's sake, don't even grab the road up with the rubber that needs the tire for no reason. I agree
yeah,
with you 100%. But then, of course, there's 40% when there is actually this. And then again, when you can actually be able to connect digitally, a lab person can come at home, an X-ray person can come at home, and actually a pharmacy can come at home. Actually, right now, my mom is getting all three services here in Dallas, Texas, at home, because again, it's going to be a big mess. And then I know exactly I can log in from one camera over there, then there's another FaceTime. So I don't have to travel either. So it is
yeah,
insane what you're talking about. I completely 100% agree. And this is going to exactly disrupt the payer market. I mean, of course, they have a different market. And then this is the last point I have to make. No matter what you do, we are telling you the from history, and which is, by the way, always repeats itself. You can discuss this. There will be people who are going to want physical in person, etc. And I'm not Gen Z. I mean, the Gen Z is never going to come. Let's just be honest, right?
Yeah.
I mean, they're going to look at a TikTok and find. Here's a live example, by the way. My wife is getting care from a physician from Florida. I said, "What the hell is going on? I know every freaking one in Dallas." No, I love her because she does this.
Yeah.
So Gen Zs are going to be different. So
Yeah.
you have to learn that. They have access to global knowledge in a way that you're going to have a problem with. So 100%. Again, Ed, thank you so much for joining in today. We're going to keep talking about more about patience and pair. So we talked about some of this, and then keep joining us. If you want to come in as a guest, we're welcoming you. We're not reaching out officially. The reason behind it is that we want to cover some of these core topics in the first 13 to 26 episodes. But then we're going to officially reach out. We're going to bring in more people, talk about these challenges, real stories, real implementation challenges, and we're going to be moving forward. See you every Wednesday, 7 a.m. Follow us on LinkedIn, Harvey Castro, YouTube, mine, Edward Marks, LinkedIn as well. And if you have any other suggestions, please reach us out as well. Thank you so much.
Take care.